allow the two children to have the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Can he dey touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Chai, dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they no dey do anything with the power. Every day dollar just dey get it higher power over naira. Still dem talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no wan make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní adìyẹ.
Maiyegun mami,
Adìyẹ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun mami,
Adìyẹ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Hello there. Welcome back. And good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you. If you are just joining us for the first time today, this is Maiyegun live. And thank you for joining me. Remember, we are currently being shadow banned on YouTube. So you that gets in this early, you either probably just searched for Maiyegun. So that is why you have to share it. A lot of people don't get to receive the notifications for some obvious reasons, shadow ban. So like the broadcast, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Maiyegun today. And if you have done that already, thank you. Okay. Yesterday, when the president of Brazil hosted Tinubu to a state banquet, like a dinner sort of, while Tinubu was addressing Lula da Silva, among other sort of like jargons he spewed, the highlight of that was when Tinubu said, since he became the president of Nigeria, that corruption has ended, meaning the bureaucratic corruption, the 10%ers, who are always going to be the middlemen for those who are coming to invest. If you take that literally, right? Literally, you're going to say, is he actually kidding? Right? The entire regime of Tinubu, as illegitimate as it is a symbol of corruption. And for what Nigerians have witnessed in the last 2.5 years, it seems like, as Sowore put it, Koolu must be drunk. But it doesn't really drink. I don't have any intel on Tinubu drinking. Yeah, there is an intel. It's a public info, right? That is a druggie, but he's an old guy now. I'm not sure if he's still using. But to Sowore, it could actually be the both. So we're going to start with Sowore today. And then from there, as usual, we go on and on and on until we feel like, let's call it a night. So thank you very much for joining. And here was Sowore's statement when he was asked about that Tinubu's own statement. Sowore.
Ended corruption and other things that has brought Nigeria down ever since he has been up.
I thought they said the president stopped drinking. Yes, for sniffing, yes. I think the president was high on something that we have to investigate. Because I'm sure that even he himself couldn't have believed that he ended corruption. When, as a matter of fact, his corruption personified. I'm sure if they check his presidential jet, they will find a lot of corrupt people inside of it. He traveled with them. He himself is the leader of the most corrupt political party in Nigeria today, and also the leader of a terrorist party. Oh, so how can he go and say that you ended corruption? Tell the president to stop sniffing.
Okay, what's your take about the move to increase the salaries of politicians, lawmakers, the presidency, and every other?
It aligns with what we have always said, that people who do the least amount of work want to get the highest amount of pay. What is it that the politicians themselves are doing that justify asking for increment of salary? If a country is governed like this, as their employers, we are looking to fire them. How can you fire? How can you increase the salary of people that you want to fire? It is part of the impunity that has become part of leadership. Impunity and the sense of entitlement that must be ended. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
I agree. And remember, the illegal police IG, who is currently occupying the, position of the Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, Betokun, right, sued the same Sowore for cyberbullying, which in the local parlance, you can say maybe, is intimidating them and abusing them, gets them so scared of him that they sued him. This is what Sowore said on that.
I've read the charges. I don't need to tell you that they are the most foolish charges. Anybody who had designed those charges ought to be purged from the police. He should not be a lawyer. When we went before the judge 2 days ago, downstairs, to ask for my passport, he said there's no urgency in requesting for my passport. He's a vacation judge. But you can see another vacation judge. There are only 2 vacation judges in this court. They are not handling any other case but Sowore's cases. These guys will be defeated and disgraced. It's just a matter of time. I've made myself available to answer to all their charges, but I also made myself available to throw my life on the line to ensure that my convictions are not tampered with. The most inept, frivolous, the most adequately stupid charge. And if it is not carried by the IG, it might be the DSS.
The instant charge today is an example of such an abuse of prosecutorial powers. Section 174 sub 3 of the Constitution stipulates that any charge to be filed in court must be in compliance with equity and the interest of justice. This particular requirement of Section 174.3 is lacking in the charge that was filed by the IG.
If Omoyele Sowore had worked in conjunction with any other press platform, the same way they were brought that press platform to court today, and we are saying that the press have a role to play. There is no crime in this matter.
I've read the charge.
So Sowore is personal non grata when it comes to the Association of Nigeria Media, or the Association of the Brown Envelope Men and Women. So when Sowore brought these reporters, it was more or less like revolutionary. If some of you will remember, their reportage are so very direct, and they call them thieves, criminals, exactly who they were. And that was so unconventional, so to say, to what the traditional way of pampering these rogues as the brown envelopes keeps flying. Tinubu sniffing or Tinubu drinking, either way, whatever it is that they are injecting him with, right? You would want them to possibly stop. And if they can't stop, it is ideal for those of you who still have your own mind intact to stop believing them, because there are people who believe them, right? Yeah, there are people who believe them. The NBA conference that is going on in Enugu, right? They have shown different kinds of side attractions, speeches, these interviews, and all that stuff. But today, where they add their speakers, like the guests to debate things, Oby Ezekwesili was among their invited guests for this year's Enugu conference. Now, he challenged the supposed lawyers, young and old. So at least think about Nigeria, the country, and the broken down of law and order by the gang that have captured Nigeria now, Koolu and gang. But they didn't do it alone. So you are lawyers, you should at least do what is right in protection of this democracy. When it comes to the APC, they don't care. Anyway, then Sheung, I don't know, I think he got a text message or something. It's like, you know, the questions that the guests or the speakers were being asked, they were picked, I think, from online, I believe. And since one of the questions popped up that they had to ask the audience, the audience is comprising of lawyers, you know, in Nigeria, thousands of them. In fact, it was said that there are over 20,000 of them in Enugu right now for that their conference. It was a big hall, a conference hall, anyway. So she went through the question after Tinubu's interior minister, I think. Yeah. So interior minister was there to tell everybody there that Tinubu has done so well when it comes to rule of law. For where human rights this and that reform, Tinubu's reform, blah, 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 nonsense that they have been marketing. So they will ask the lawyers, and they said that as Nigeria improved or as Nigeria gotten any better in the last 2 years with a thunderous no in the hall, and the camera just switched straight to Tinubu's minister's face. Shamelessly, he was there like, looking like, you know. Anyway, here was Oby's own admonition.
Seconds. All right. I am glad you guys are here to listen to me. And maybe you won't invite me again after I'm done. You represent the heartbeat of professionalism in our country, in any society. I think it's important that we don't laugh through the conditions that we find ourselves as a people. You're the best of minds. Anyone who is able to train and become a lawyer in Nigeria represents the elite of our society. What's going on is an abandonment of responsibility by the elite of our country. The truth is, the people of this country, the larger population of the poor, are almost trapped in intractable poverty. Some 133 million are perniciously in that state of poverty. One thing that is fundamental are the choices that we make as a people. And guess what? The lawyers determining the rule of law of this society and what is rewarded, what is punished, are the heart of it. The question that I hope your conference this year would force each of you to ask is, should there be an evaluation of what our profession has done to provide the necessary guardrails for the behavior of our political class? It's got to be that we, as the privileged class, for as long as you're educated, you're a privileged class, we need to understand that this society lays prostrate for the poor right now, some 133 million of them, that a distorted incentive society is making it impossible for them to actually have a quality of life that is close enough to just being normal. And therefore, I am praying that as the legal profession, you can agree that there is serious discussions that are making it difficult for incentives to align in the direction where hard work is rewarded. This country has to go back to rewarding hard work. This idea that politics is the pathway to becoming wealthy is an anomaly. Any profession that is rewarding this kind of pre-Bengalist behavior cannot be a profession that cares about tomorrow. But I do know that I know some of you, and you're some of the best minds that we have in this society. So, stop trading this profession. Stop giving this profession over to a bunch of lousy politicians that want to destroy generations here and unborn. Don't invite me again. Even if you invite me, I may not come again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the final, just hold on.
It was, how some people feels, and Oby Ezekwesili is talking to the instrument or the tool in their toolbox, in the politicians' toolbox, the lawyers, whose job is to look for loopholes, or what they use in the legal terms, lacunas. They look for lacunas in law in order to break these criminals free from the full weight of the law. Something that the Sultan of Sokoto said a few days ago as well, at the same conference, that justice in Nigeria is now purchasable. You see, rich criminals walk free, while poor, innocent Nigerians have been locked up most of the time without trial. The rich have a way, the corrupt criminals have a way of using the weaknesses in your laws to escape justice. Who are those who are doing that? Nigerian lawyers are multi-billionaire, if you see some of them, right? You will see them, not only that they are working, let me even say this, not only that Nigerian lawyers are working to free the Nigerian criminals, politicians and the like, to free them from their crimes. Nigerian lawyers have collaborated with international or foreign, foreign businesses, right, to rip Nigeria off by drafting, the sort of like legal agreements, right, that rewards these supposed foreigners or foreign businesses, right, and rip Nigeria off. In the process, they get so rewarded. They have so much money. In a lawless society, you have billionaire lawyers. In a place where the rule of law is almost like completely broken down, you have billion celebrity lawyers. They call themselves international lawyers. They have partners. They flaunt them everywhere above scrutiny, so to say. But at this same event, in that same event, Kimbaloye, the anchor of that conversation, right? That same, I don't know what they call it. It's like a roundtable conversation about legal issue in Nigeria and how Nigerians have become so much like enslaved in their own country, unprotected, not protected from the terrorists, not protected from the political criminals. So Nigerians are just existing, just for the existence sake. So, and those who understand how a chaotic rigged system works, they are ripping it off. They are making so much money. They are cashing out left, right, and center. And they are doing so shamelessly. You get what I mean? Oh, so they asked them. Seun was like, I have a question here. I want to ask all of you in this room. Is Nigeria better now than it was 2 years ago? Like I said, a thunderous no from the people that will still chase the criminals who destroyed or are destroying Nigeria. This election is coming soon. Listen to this part.
First question is Nigeria better today than 2 years ago? So I think that is for yes. Is Nigeria better today than 2 years ago? Okay, let's go to the second question. Do you think, order please, do you think the nation is on the right track with the policies of the Tinubu government? Okay. All right. My third question, and this is very important, and we need to also think carefully. Is your hope renewed? No, I've not finished the question. Hold on. I've not finished the questions. Hold on is a longer sentence. Is your hope renewed now, or do you think this government is in touch with the present realities of the average nation? For those who agree, say yes. Those who disagree, say no. If you agree that the Minister of the Interior did a fantastic job in defending a very difficult situation of the country, put your hands together for him. If you really think the Minister of the Interior did a very good job, please stand up and clap for him. So it's a unanimous decision. All right, on that note, the yes have it. First question is
tell me what are we producing and selling to other countries? Not even slippers. We eat the skin of our cows instead of turning them to beautiful bags and shoes. Eliminate that. It's a sign of poverty.
We are a poor nation. The ban code we follow. They say firewood, not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, try shining, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work up with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. You're doing.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Hey!
So, in order not to embarrass Tinubu's minister, who was now looking like Frenikio. God damn it. So these people, they don't buy all this, is what I tell them. I told them that they can renew their passport from their bedroom now. Is that not a reform? So in a nutshell, the majority of lawyers agree that their hope is not renewed under Tinubu and his supposed reform. But Tinubu was in Brazil telling everyone there that his policy, his reforms are working. His position in Nigeria, his clowns that he packed with him to go to Brazil, right? Like Wale Yidun, the head of his economy team, Minister of, finance, and that is Wale Idun. Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole was also there. They brought people from different agencies, parastatals, and all of them. And I told you that they had over, 80 people with Tifnumbu. But that was just Japanese people. On this one, we go Brazil. The typewriter of Kaduna, Ubasoni, Abina Ubanka Soni, he has been using his mouth, right, like Yoruba would say, to cut meat inside soup. According to him, Kaduna alone will benefit over $30 billion from Brazil. Investment to Kaduna alone. And others too, like, what is that one called? That's Bago. The Bago from Niger. I wanted to say Niger. The one that said Tifnumbu is his father. Look at them. They were all there, okay, with Tifnumbu. And everybody is telling their own media team to keep telling their people that, this Brazil, Tifnumbu's reform, Tifnumbu's policy. So we're going to go to that Brazil now, mostly the boring part. Then we're going to go to something pretty much like, lively after that. But this one is longer. So what are they telling themselves and their own data boys that they took to Brasilia, right? It's almost the same thing they've been telling you all this while. All talk, no action. All fraud with a touch of propaganda, as you can tell. But they did take something out of it that we shouldn't possibly miss. All right? That is, now you can fly directly to Brazil. Unfortunately, I don't think, because I have been told that to even get a Brazil visa from Nigeria, I don't know, except you are a politician. So those who have their visas and all that will tell you what it is like. So hopefully now that they don't have to travel 22 hours to Brazil, right? But that's a good thing, Yeah. Out of the trip, that one at least that one is something you can say, is that true? Yeah, it is true. So Tinubu signed a BASA agreement with Brazil, which now allow, the Brazilian airlines to fly to Nigeria directly and take passengers, as well as Nigerian airlines to fly to Brazil 3 times in a week. So here Peace has been given the deal. So it was there with them. And let's go see what they did in that Brazil, including when Tinubu met with Nigerians in Brazil. But guess what? In the room where Tinubu is meeting Nigerians, you will realize that the entire Nigerians you see in the room probably are less than 10% of the entire audience, because all those who follow Tinubu there, they are those ones who will sit down like the staff of the embassy. They will fill up the room to make it look like Nigerians from are hosting Tinubu. That's not the point, right? Let's go to that Brazil, like day 3 of Tinubu's visit there. Which one should we do first? When he met with Nigerians, his Minister of Misinformation, right, was the one that started first. I told you it's the boring part, so let's jump.
But let me say that all these things have happened because of one simple factor. Excellency. Throughout the history of any organized society, the power to change the course of mankind has always been vested in the leaders. And that is what we are seeing here today. In just 2 years, everything has happened in Nigeria, from the major reforms that the president has instituted, the removal of subsidy, unification of the foreign exchange, and all the other reforms. And only yesterday, Mr. President, listening to President Lula, he said something about the reformation of their tax system here. This is something that I know took a long struggle to do in Nigeria. But Mr. President was insisting because he knew the direction that he was going. He insisted, and today we have a tax regime that will help all the reform program of Mr. President in our country. Our children that are unable to go to school on account of the fact that either their parents or their guardians are unable to pay for their school fees is no longer the case. As we speak, over 90 billion naira has already been committed to that. Students are no longer going out of school simply on account of the inability of their parents or guardians not to pay for their school fees or for their upkeep. I think this is very, very important. This from north to south, from east to west, nobody, you don't need to know anyone. Just as Governor Obasani has said, you don't need to know anyone to get anything from the central bank. You don't need to know anyone to enroll in school. Once you are able to go to school, you'll be able to go to school today. This is unprecedented. It has never happened in the history of our country. And all the reforms that is present, we talked about livestock. This is a potentially over 30 trillion naira economy. My brothers and sisters from the northern part of the country, before now, the livestock ministry was just a unit under the Ministry of Agriculture. Today, Mr. President has brought that to life. And what we are seeing here in Brazil, because the model that the President is also taking from Brazil here in livestock, in piggery, in other sectors concerning related to that, is aimed at transforming the kind of economy that we all desire to have. Mr. President, what we have done in just 2 years is unprecedented. Sometimes when we go out to roll out all these programs and policies of government, and this is happening just at the midterm of the first mandate that you have in 2 years. Just imagine what is going to happen. Only yesterday, we had the BASA, the bilateral air services agreement, linking this part of the world, Brazil and Nigeria. And Mr. President said something that if it was possible to swim from here across the Atlantic to reach there. So when I heard my sister, Abike Dabiri, talking about the regatta that is coming up around October this year, and I said, well, we are going to do that before her, because tonight we are flying Airbus to Nigeria in 7 hours. So we're not even waiting for that regatta to happen. Same thing with the cargo. Your Excellency, this is not a night for speeches. I know that if we have the time from now till morning, we'll be reeling out all the reforms that Mr. President has done. But what I want to tell you is that Nigeria has changed. It is what Nigeria of yesteryears. This is it. You have a destination. Everyone. Nigeria is now a darling of everyone. Everyone wants to come to Nigeria. And I'm happy that our brothers and sisters in Brazil are not being left behind. They are gearing up to join this. In any case, we've had 350 years of slavery. We are now changing that. Like President Lula said yesterday, it's not just for economy. It's not just for financial re-engineering. It is also a recognition of history, of culture, of tradition, and of common heritage and humanity that all of us crave to have. Thank you, Excellency, for giving me this opportunity.
Now to on far. Ma okuta to wa nbe ma yoku nbe. Ma sabi gbata ba nsa ewa.
Did you see that smooth way? When you are telling a lie, right, and you repeat the lies again and again and again and again, you begin to believe it. Because APC is the type that they will look at you. When you see some of them, you can easily tell the state of Nigeria on them, especially their followers. Like you can easily tell, like, oh my God, like what happened to you? Sort of struggling guys. And that is the reflection of the real society, their real policies on these people. But APC will come and convince you that you have lost your look, that you are already looking like somebody else. Right? I don't know if some of you have experienced that, where you get to, you're on the phone with someone, and then somebody says, hey, who is that? They say, Taiwo or something. Say, which Taiwo? Taiwo Adekunle. Really? Why did he look so different? Say, Abako easy, Nigeria, everybody just sure you get, but APC will convince you right? That is your true, that's your true image. You. That time when you are looking better, that was fake life. Oh. What Tinubu is doing right now is that he's teaching everybody to live within his means. So if you are big before, people they call you Biggie. And right now, they thought you are, I mean, like you are no longer Biggie, right? That is your real size. That is the real you. APC will convince you. You will see suffering and smiling suffer heads. They will be convincing you that Tinubu is working. Let me tell you something. It will take time. Reform take time. They will be breaking. It is because these guys that they listen to speaks to them in speaking to them about like the future. Even if you are not enjoying now, the reason why all of them are complaining now is because you see this reform, they are supposed to have done it years ago, but because they didn't do it, Tinubu is doing it now. So in another 2, 3, 4 years, everybody will begin to see it. Promissory notes. That's APC. Meanwhile, when you are looking at what they are doing, at least to a little bit, right, correlate with what they are telling you, you will realize that it's in total contrast. They are telling you this, and you are following them. You think it's the same thing, and then the next thing, this is actually what they are doing. But you are still stuck here, deceived, expecting, like they did for you during Bukwari's time. For 8 years, grown-up adults, they were watching Bukwari and his gang depleting Nigeria at the time. And they were still telling themselves, this is the change I voted for. This is the change I voted for. Anyway, the change they promised them, the fake one, they don't take this route already. Empty the entire central bank of Nigeria. Dig further and dug Nigeria into everlasting indebtedness. The Olori Burukus, the Buhari idiots, who were abusing everybody, attacking everybody for 8 straight years. By the time they realized, they were already marched again behind Tinubu. So they've forgotten that they were the same people abusing and attacking everyone because of this change and next devil. So right now, to them, they are back to the same state of mind, deluded, gullible, and totally stupid. They are telling everybody right now, renewed hope, the policy, give it time. Very soon, in 2 years, everything, the country don't spoil before, here you get. So right now, it is, give them time. Meanwhile, Tinubu and his gang, they are busy again, cashing out, deceiving them, running the country aground, falsifying statistics and data, especially falsifying data to deceive them who still believe that they told them the renewed shege. The country is bleeding, but they are giving themselves awards of doing well. Since those who believe in the lie, they believe so strongly. But you know how bad it is that 8 years of their lives was wasted by Bukwari. Bukwari and his own people and his co-travelers, they wrecked Nigeria, and over $200 billion that could have been part of Nigeria's revenue disappeared. In 8 years, Bukwari wiped off more than 3 generations and the wealth that they could have built on. The economy that was a $567 or so billion economy, they wrecked it, brought it down to about $320 or so billion. People lost their jobs, lost their savings. Most of their stuff got so devalued, lost their businesses. At the end of the day, poverty spread. But while that is the evidence, APC, Egbekegbe, they are telling Nigerians that if not for them, it could have been worse. There are those who believe. There are those who believe that it's true. If they didn't remove that subsidy, honestly, you don't know. Nigeria would have collapsed because they told them that. It works. When you repeat the lies again and again and again and again, you begin to believe it. And once you start believing it, everyone who doesn't is either blind, not intelligent, can't see the future, impatient, or above it all, is an hater. He hates us. He hates progress. By the time they burn everything down, the rogues who disappeared, where are those with the Bokwari? Where are they now? Where are those stolen money? Where are they now? But guess what? The ones who are there right now mopping the floor with their destinies and all that, they are doing so because they have enablers who believes that whatever they are doing is for his own future and the future of his own children. So, you that is seeing it clearly and differently is considered an enemy. And guess what? This victim did not make that up himself. Oh. Politicians told him that anyone who opposes us with all these promises we have made you is not just our enemy, oh, it's your enemy too. That's what actually makes it more complicated. That's why they said that if you want to fight for Nigerians, you must also be ready to fight them. So if you mistakenly uses your entire strength to fight their oppressors, it will come shock you that even the oppressors may not really have to lift any limb. They are oppressed, will do the job. It will come shock you. And many people, I believe, actually died disappointed because when they realized this, it was almost too late to realize and say, the end. So at the end of the day, it's almost for nothing. So kudos to those who don't care whether it pays off later or it paid off later or not. To them, keeping quiet is actually like worse than to be under the oppressed themselves. That is worse. Okay? So, let's go back to that Brazil, where Koolu himself was busy rambling, right? Trying to drop all those big words and waiting for the Clappers Association of the Presidency of Nigeria to do their job. Clap. So here is what Koolu told the alleged Nigerians he met in Brasilia just before that maiden flight of airpeace from Brasilia to Abuja. That was last night. Here.
A reflection of Nigeria in true identity. And I want to thank all of you for being who you are and what you are for Nigeria. I salute all the cultural affinities, bonds that existed between all of us, for all of us. I'm a young lady. How are you? You're fine. Very, very good. Ajiboye, I could see the TV program that you embark on the campaign of culture, diversity, peace, development, and progress. To all of you here, Nigeria is a country of diverse nature, and Nigeria that is welcoming to all of us. Nigeria has changed from the election that I won the bold endeavors that we embark upon is to reform the country, bring Nigeria to the forefront of the continent of Africa, get a sense of dedication, commitment, and transformation that will be for our children yet unborn. I am a very proud Nigerian, and I believe you are a pride to our country. You will be the same. For us, it has been a very long journey for our leaders. But we are a generation that is caring with foresight, determination, commitment, and courage to change the history of our continent. I'm proudly standing before you, making a commitment to all of you that Nigeria will be changed for the good of all of us and for the benefit and prosperity of all our citizens. We give priority to development. Once upon a time, we can look back on history with heart that Brazil and Nigeria were on the same level of development. Look at us today and look at Brazil. It is necessary for you to be challenged, and we are. Personally, I am challenged, ready to work, ready to bring the image of that country to the same level in the continent. And yes, we can do it. There's nothing we set our mind to that we cannot do. Look at the technological development of this country. Look at the ability of this nation to achieve food sovereignty. Just imagine. What do they have that we don't have? We have everything. We have the brain. We have the energy. Yes. We have the populations, the youth. I salute the president of diaspora leadership here for reflecting that diversity to bring prosperity to all of us. What I want to do is work hard. The transformation that is ongoing is for all of us. It should be supported. Reforms initially was extremely difficult for our people to get. But just like any medication for malaria, aspirin, and all of that, it could be bitter to take initially. But when you are healthy, you know the education works. To us, we can manufacture, we can develop, we can design, we can build a nation that works purposefully and prosperously for all of us. So our brothers who are about ready to take a voyage with our Nobel laureate, I'm part of that support. The dream was then when I was the governor of Lagos State, and we started it, but I didn't believe that the opportunity of becoming the president will ever come back to me. It did. And now that I am in charge, I will encourage the fulfillment of that dream. And if Wole Soyinka at over 90 is doing this, for all of you, we will all be challenged to ensure that we realize that dream and make it a reality. So all
nuisance leleyi, nuisance leleyi.
Total nuisance. Now, take a look at this, yeah? After 2.5 years, and you are meeting, because normally you would have known, because everybody is following what is going on, by the way. So, let's assume that you are meeting your president, right? And in any foreign country. So, and he's addressing you by saying, I believe that a lot of you are seeing what we are doing back home. At least for the internet or social media, you can see everything we are doing. Now, what we have done so far, that I believe that a lot of you can still come back and play a very huge role. The issue of insecurity. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, we have currently put up, for instance, we have set up a special tribunal to try all of the captured terrorists in Nigeria from across the country. And so far, so good. In the last 2 years, we have, delivered over 6,000, sort of like, we have delivered judgment that has convicted over 6,000 on different degrees of, their punishment and conviction. And not only that, we have returned more than 5 million Nigerians back to their homes. At least all of you are seeing that on social media, say, yes, we are seeing them, right? So in the area of fighting corruption, because when we came in, we discovered that they've looted the country, this, and that. And so far, so good. In order to let you know, right, when I came in, there was this plan to buy a 5 billion naira yacht, 160 billion naira aircraft, and then to build a new house, 21 billion naira for vice president. All these things, I had to cancel all of them because we just removed subsidy, and we can't remove subsidy and then direct this money into other wastages. So we decided to use this subsidy removal money to do this, and that, especially for the children, the elderly, the unemployed, things that people already know. And you are there telling them and say, well, there are other opportunities. We want you to come back. We want you to know that as for security, as for the police reform, we have carried out police reform. And as we speak right now, every police officer in Nigeria now wears the uniform that has a live camera. So wherever they are going, wherever they are doing, is being captured. So nobody can go and set up or mount any illegal roadblocks anywhere. So for those of you who live here who are worried about that, that is no longer the issue in Nigeria. We are still having issues here and there. However, they are no longer much like widespread. And most of you in that room will be like, that's true. We have heard that too. In fact, we saw the convicted terrorists that are no longer being pardoned. We have seen areas where people have returned back to their homes. These homes have been rebuilt. People have returned back to their farms. No propaganda, no nothing. These are verifiable things. The moves that we have made, we have saved money and we have saved lives. We are still doing it and we can do more. You see, in the area of electricity, we have reprivatized the entire sector so that governments will no longer, the debt owed these distributing companies, they've been paid. And we did that initially to make sure that money we are taking from the subsidy, we clear some of the local debts that could hamper the economic progress and all that. So all these actions that we took really put Nigeria back on track. So, and there's no way we won't need all of you. Even you that seated there will be like, that's true. But no. What is it that this country have that we don't have? What do they We have the people, we have the population. We can do anything we want. We can be. Are you mad, man? You are the president. Are you saying you can? In today's world, right? People can choose to be ignorant or stupid. That's why we call it, stupidity or ignorance by choice. People choose to, right? Or like these liars. Well, here is his minister of innovation. They call this one Minister of Innovation. He's in Brazil too. Listen.
You know, in the area of biotechnology, we have over 70 million hectares of arable land. These things, they are not utilized. But looking at, in the area of biotechnology, we are looking at bringing in cotton seeds, cotton seeds that can engage our people gainfully, and then put food on our table, create jobs, create wealth. We have the kind of genetically modified cotton seed here that goes every 5 months you harvest, every 5 months, 4 months you harvest. But the one we have presently in Nigeria, done by my DG, Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, you harvest in 11 months, 12 months. They call it Bacillus transgenitis cotton. But we have a better one here in Brazil, and we have concluded arrangement with Abrapa, to get the seeds down to Nigeria so that our farmers can start harvesting twice in a year instead of once in a year. So you know what that means. The multiply effect in wealth, the multiply effect in engaging our youth. So apart from biotechnology and bioeconomy, we are talking of in the area of space. The area of space technology, we are doing very well in space with our brother, the DG, Energy Commission, Dr. Matthew Adekoji coming in. We are one of the leading nations in Africa today in space. So this signing will enhance what we are doing. And we have again in the area of industrial development. We have also in telemedicine, and we have in cassava. There is new invention in cassava that does twice in a season instead of once. For bioethanol that you can use for vehicles, So there's a lot that are still unfolding in this signing we did today. Even for renewable energy for solar, Nigeria, we are planning to build, a solar panel center. So with Brazilians coming in, we will exchange ideas, lobby ideas on the best way to go on that. But before now, what we only have is mitigating idea between Nigeria and China. But today we are adding Brazil to it, so it's a big leap for us in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
We owe this achievement to our president for coming from the private sector, because if not that he comes from the private sector, he wouldn't be a listening president. He wouldn't understand it. But today, we are very proud of him because coming from the private sector gives us, the advantage of talking to a man who understands it. So we are.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
He is talking about GMO. But this dishonest bunch are not bold enough to look at their citizens in the eyes and say, oh yeah, we are looking at genetically modified organism because they can yield more this, they can yield more that. The discussion about the GMO into Nigeria, let me tell you something. Do you know that this GMO, that the guys, Bill Gates especially, they have been pushing to bring it into Nigeria since 1989. So those of you might think, oh, maybe it's new. It's not new. Since 1989, they renewed the whole thing again. Well, maybe not with Bill Gates back then. So they renewed the whole thing again, right? Like 10 years later, when Nigeria got this their fake democracy, right? But nobody kind of gave them the. Then, people didn't know much about what you now know today. But for some reason, right, they didn't get the approval to enter Nigeria until APC Egbekegbe happened, right? And a lot of you have heard a lot about this GMO, that, and all that. So you would expect your government to be honest with you, right? So by 2017, Bokwari signed the approval for the first GMO seeds to be officially planted in Nigeria. And it was in northern part of Nigeria. Between 2017 and now, they have more than 30 locations where they have planted this GMO in Nigeria in different, cassava or ginger or pepper or veg and what do you call it, like corn and others. Different variants, right? Now, Nigerians are reading up about it on social media, with different takes and all of that. But their government continue to lie to them. That's the minister. That one is a minister of innovation. Something Nanji. Do you even know him? Eh? If you see him before tonight, would you know that he's a minister in Nigeria? If I ask you that, who is the Minister of Innovation and Technology? Now, their Minister for Innovation and Technology be that. The people that take decisions that affect lives of millions of people. Okay? And there is more. This one is a governor. His own takeaway from the meeting, according to him, is that Kaduna will get like $30 billion investment. Kaduna people, congratulations. Here is the typewriter. Banker Sonny.
I'm happy from what we discussed during bilateral meetings. We're looking at over $30 billion investment in the area of agriculture and food security. And of course, something that for me I feel is really, really important is the fact that for the first time, I've seen a country that are willing and ready to open their own opportunities for Nigeria. I'm happy.
Kaduna people, congratulations. Over 30 billion investment in the area of agriculture, in the area of... They couldn't name one. That's another thing about them. They are going to tell you that we signed contracts of $40 billion who are coming to Nigeria. You say, right. And what are those contracts like with NOOO and NOOO? Then they will tell you that no, we can't tell that in public. We can't say all of that in public. What are you talking about? You sign contract with ABC Farms. It is $1 billion. They are coming to come and build this and that. This is the body of the deal. We signed another deal with Spectra, CDA Technology. They are coming to build so and so, and it's worth $4 billion. You see how these mofos, they call dollars. That's how they speak to their moons in Nigeria. All this billion, 10 billion, 15 billion in power, 40 billion. You know? And most of them, right, left Nigeria with the stolen loot from Nigeria. that they managed to go and put away somewhere, right? And then they come back and start telling their people how they signed this billion. They can't tell you who signed the billions or who is like, they will say, I know we can't say everything. Then Nigerians will now be waiting for their investor, as at this 2025, June 2025, it is on record that between June 2024 and June 2025, only 2 states attracted foreign investment to their states. And the total investment in this period is $1.8 billion. Right? Okay, 3 states, they said. It's not even states. Yeah, Abuja got 1. Lagos got 1. And I think Rivers also. It's 3 states in the entire Nigeria that actually got investors that came to Nigeria and said, we are starting this. But yet, all these guys are always declaring, Kaduna State has not attracted one single investor in the last 2.5 years. One single one like this. But their governor has traveled God knows how many times. Same with many of the others too. Their governors are always traveling. They are going for it, and that's what they tell their people there. Meanwhile, once they collect a state allocation, they will call their bureau de change. They will change the money to dollars. They will call their crypto managers. They will deposit the money, transfer the money into a crypto wallet for them. They take other cash that they can take, and that's them going on vacation to go and enjoy themselves. And you know how this place be now. They come here, they get the women, they party in their hotel, they do everything they want to do. In the process, they can look for who they call investors. Meanwhile, these are their partners in money laundering. Those ones that will now help them process money laundering. They can now bring them to their country and say, this person is coming to come and invest $450 million. Now, how much they want to steal from you be that too? For the agricultural repatriation security adjacent projects. By the time you are even reading the name of the projects, you are tired already before you get to paragraph 1. Because it's all meaningless. Process of, Now this one seems to represent parastatus. Listen to him.
So you've met Mr. President, and you had some good conversations with him on the current state of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Can you give us a little more on what you discussed with the President, why it's important for Nigeria, and what's the objectives you're meeting with?
Yes, it was a very, very wonderful event and an opportunity to thank Mr. President for signing into law the ISA number 2, 2025. It is one of the most comprehensive legislation ever in any capital market that provides all of the opportunities for Nigeria and Nigerians and indeed Nigerian companies to be able to move towards the $1 trillion economy, as exposed by the Mr. President. And it is also to say to Mr. President that the policies that have come to play in the Nigerian macroeconomic environment had helped the market to progress and have helped the market to triple to the point that it is. Also, to give to Mr. President our KPI regarding the movement of this market even onto 300 trillion naira, because that is our goal. So making sure that the policies that Mr. President have actually, helped to craft has caused, the multiplication of the market and indeed the redistribution of wealth among Nigerians, which is a fundamental objective of Mr. President. So for us, we believe strongly that the policies of Mr. President are actually paying off, even faster than a lot of people would have thought, because Mr. President is fully in charge, and of course, we know exactly what we are doing towards meeting.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú. Ó jọ mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò mọ́ rárá.
Mr. President, if it's because of Mr. President foresight, the redistribution of wealth, they are redistributing Nigeria's wealth into their private pocket. And listen, they believe that what Tinubu is doing is not bad. It's right. Take a look at it this way. When Goodluck Ebele was there, Abuja was like Bayelsa extension for those who lived in Abuja during that time. Almost everybody was dressing with that their hat. Niger Delta, remember? When and in fact, it was actually a very glorious time for the likes of Asari Dokubo and the rest of them, okay? Because prior to that, or should I say, let's say 4 years before then, is it up to 4 years? Yeah, 4 years before then, Obasanjo had invited the Niger Delta militants to Abuja for a peace talk. And he sent his presidential jet to bring them so that it could give them, build their confidence that it's not trying to do any kind of mischief, right? So when Obasanjo took all of them, Tompolo and others, when they took them to Abuja, Obasanjo didn't see them for like a whole week. So they left them in the top hotel, like all this Sheraton, Hilton, and all those places, right? In Abuja. And for the first time, right, these guys who are the militants in Niger Delta, for the first time, they saw opulence, what looked like opulence. And their belief then was that, so this is what they used our crude oil money build. They saw beautiful city, Abuja, organized, beautiful, right? So when they returned back to their creek, right, Obasanjo called them like a month or so later that now he's ready to meet with them. So they sent for them, this time not presidential jets. Obasanjo sent for them, and once they got to Abuja, from the airport, straight to Kuje prison. From Kuje prison, just normal cell, maximum prison, they were locked in underground cell for the next 7 months. When Asari came out, Baba, he'd be like a madman. That is why he's saying that in his absence, it was Tinubu that was feeding his family. That's why he owed that to Tinubu. Now, when Goodluck Ebele now became the president of Nigeria, the entire Abuja turned to the extension of Niger Delta, which infuriated the Sharia North even more. I don't know how old you are, but this is a true story. They felt so disgusted. Like if not for the death of Yaradua, look at these people, right? They were all over the place, the ministry or the parastatals or the age, everywhere. Then, when their hatred for Goodluck Ebele finally paid off, the next thing that happened was to Fulanize or Northernize Abuja. And everybody just turned to small Alaji. If you see Chinedu, or you see Uche, or you see, what do you call it, Ufoma, Abichioma, Abinike, or Adiola, everybody started dressing like they were all Muslims. In fact, some of them actually started practicing Muslim under Bokwari. I'm serious, because Abuja then became Baba to belong. If you can't beat them, you join them. For the 8 years of Bokwari, it was Fulanization, Northernization everywhere, and others in that hierarchy. And when I use this Northernization or what have you, it is not even to the poorest, though, just the guys within their circle up there. All right, so that wealth is circulating among them. So during Bokwari's time too, the whole wealth was circulating among them. Right? They say, go to Abuja, go to Abuja. So now, those who were like recharge card sellers, Merua, the other guy, was a phone call operator. They all left Bokwari's regime as multi-billionaires. There's a guy called Bashir. If you look at his throwback picture, You go to think say maybe he was once mad in it. Bashiru Ahmed, Abiy Ahmed under Bokwari. If you see it's a throwback picture, you would think he was once mad. But it wasn't. Right? That was his past. Today he's a multimillionaire. He's a national honor holder, OON. You write his name now, we'll put OON, National Award Holder. Here you get Tunde Sabitu, Bokwari's private secretary, left. This guy was a phone operator, you want to call, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. All those people do your hair. That was his job. That started 2014. Then they appointed him as what? As Bokwari's private secretary. He's a multi-billionaire today. He was the guy that arrested Aisha Bokwari's bodyguard or security. That guy from Kogi. Yeah, that guy that used to stand behind Aisha. It was Tunde Sabitu that arrested him when they came back from Dubai during the COVID lockdown. They said they won't go and do quarantine or go and quarantine, and they disarmed him. He's a billionaire. Malamu, na Kajambe lawyer for Kebi. You know those ones where they stay beside to a customary court. Na there Malamu, na there they work. Kajambe. Bokwari appointed him Minister of Justice. Today, Malamu and his children, they are multi-billionaire. If you know what they have in Abuja, including amusement park that they built in Abuja, these guys, you would think you are probably somewhere in Morocco. Under Bokwari, person will be say there's a guy too. There's a guy who became the Chief Justice of Nigeria. His name is Tanko Technicality Babalawo Ife, the plane driver. Ogbeni Nasharia interpreter. For God knows where they got him from. Bokwari brought him, made him the Chief Justice of Nigeria. He left us a very rich guy. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on like that. So today, the distribution of Nigeria's wealth that Tinubu is doing is speaking his own circuit too. While the rest of Yorubas who are supposed to say they have affiliation or any connection to Tinubu are screaming, Ebing power, Ebing power. Do you understand? While others are cashing out big time. To them, Tinubu is redistributing the wealth. He gives them appointments or he gives them contract. You see, at the end of the day, he will create new set of political jobbers who added nothing to the country, but they are they will be very, very rich. Very rich. Do you get that now? And once they are done, after Tinubu, suddenly they will want to save Nigeria. Like those who were with Bokwari. Here is the leader of the economy, the Tinubu-nomic.
So this has been a historic visit for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tonight to Brazil. What do you have to say about this trip, and what does it portend for Brazil-Africa relations, Brazil-Nigeria relations, and the future of this relationship?
Certainly, it's a very historic and a landmark occasion on which President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had an official state visit to Brazil. Full ceremonial honors were on display. It was a very grand ceremony. More importantly, it's a landmark event in the sense that it also marks the resetting of the relationship between Nigeria and Brazil. The economic relationship, the trade relationship, the cultural ties, the re-engagement of Brazil to Nigeria. The trade, as we know, was the trade between Nigeria and Brazil was about $10 billion a decade ago. It has come down to $2 billion. And under President Lula da Silva, there's a commitment to re-engage and boost those economic ties, which will lead, apart from other benefits and other results, will lead to an increase in trade.
ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ yìí ọ̀ ń ṣeré ni àbọ̀ ń ṣiyè.
in Shiri, Nijare. He says things that I think he believes them himself, or he doesn't at all. Nah, he shouldn't. They wouldn't. That's a Wale Idun calling the state visit of Tinubu to Brazil a landmark one, right? The bilateral trade relationship between Nigeria and Brazil is actually $1 billion. It's not even 2. And the highest that the trade between Brazil and Nigeria, right? The highest it ever got to in Nigeria's history with them was $1.5 billion. Similarly, Nigeria's trade with Brazil, like when we say trade, like it is what you bring in from Brazil into Nigeria and what the Brazilians also take out of Nigeria. So in these exchanges, you get to know who is actually getting more in the long run. So they've had the chance of selling, and the only thing that actually was so like significant, rather, right? Something that's so significant that Nigeria was selling to Brazil at the time was gas, I think, right? So cultural exchanges between Brazil and Nigeria is, dated back to this slave trade and others. Confessor Soyinka was also there. They took him, right, to go and meet Lula da Silva as part of Tinubu's delegation. And yeah, they took pictures. That's the picture you saw them doing their head like this, right? Confessor Soyinka and Lula da Silva. So, and this is why the old confessor will come back and call the children, like, say, Nigerians who have his grandchildren's age, he will call them fascist. Why he's so comfortable there with the druggie and his crew, right? But we'll leave that. There is something they actually took out of the meeting, which is great, which is all right. It's not really holy and all that, but it's okay. I've just been told that, or should I say, I've just discovered that to travel to Brazil is quite, a journey, right? If you take a look at the map, truly, right, it's just one straight one. You see, this is Africa. And then you have this is the Europe. Yeah. Our own island is just there, Britain. So if you fly from this West Africa here, right, you can just go like that for 5 hours and 10 minutes or thereabout, or 6 hours. All right. So it's just fly from point here, and here. So the total journey can be just 6 hours. Meanwhile, if you want to go to Brazil, you're likely going to have to fly to Europe, 6 hours, have a stopover for like maybe another 6 hours. And then you're going to fly to somewhere again, have a stopover. It's pretty much like 2 stopovers. And they put the total journey time at 22 hours. So with Tinubu's BASA agreement, right, that automatically changed, or it changes everything. So we can say, even if we don't understand other scams and fraud they continue to propagate, but this one is all right. We should give it to them, okay? So here, last night, just before they left Brasilia for their maiden flight, so here Peace has been given the license to be the first airline and all that to fly the route. So the next stage will be, how do you get their visa for those of you who need visa to go there, right? Now this is to their credit, so give it to them.
With the president of Brazil, President Bola Tinubu, is of course the issue of the direct flights between Brazil and Nigeria. We're happy to report today that the visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Brazil is yielding immediate fruits today. Today is the first test flight from Brazil directly to Nigeria. A flight that should have taken another 20 hours either through Europe or through the Middle East. We are going directly to Nigeria thanks to airpeace. We're happy to have the CEO of airpeace here, Omoyele, who has made this possible. He's brought the 777 to this route, and he's also one of the biggest trade partners we have with Brazil. He has ordered about 21 Embraers from Brazil, brand new Embraers from Brazil. These are the fruits of the visit and the effort of Mr. President to open up the relationship with Brazil. So, you want to say something? All the ministers are here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and Honorable Minister. I thank all of you. I'm proud to be a Nigerian. I will remain Nigerian forever. Mr. President has opened the future for Nigeria. Amen. What he has done, and you can say it before, I don't get this on the floor, that in fact, most of the shortages in the opening avenues of opportunities for Nigerians get on board, because all those MOUs signed yesterday are of the federal opportunity for everyone in our country. The economy has stabilized. Now we have planned. And what he has done with Brazil, instead of Nigerians committing about 2 days before getting here, remember, Brazil is the largest economy in South America, Latin America. Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa. So we need each other so much. And again, the partnership with our president has seeking and the gentleman on this day, our partnership that respect our sovereignty. Not the one that respected our sovereignty. He is seeking partners. He is not seeking laws or partners. Thank you.
Okay, so first flight to Nigeria directly from Brazil.
Again, you Jerry Kingsley. Why is that a big deal? And no, shouldn't, but it is exclusively for the rich. And to some of them who have been ordering the Brazilian baddies to Abuja for their parties, this makes it easier. Because a country where the majority of the population can't even afford a Netflix subscription, right? You know, the society that is so poor that, Baba, the population, instead of it being a blessing, has become a burden, a serious one. You know, a burden of cash out too, because these guys are going everywhere telling everybody, give us money, borrow us money. Our population is 250 million. Our people are very, very, very poor. So we if you don't give us money, you know, if anything happen in Nigeria, all these millions of people, if they break your border and enter your country, you will pay more. Like, they are actually using the number as a bargaining chip. Like I said this afternoon, their job is to manage the problem. It is not to fix it. Our population is 300 million. We are hungry. Our people are hungry, but we are flying private jets and presidential jets all over the place. It's crazy, yeah? Yeah, it is. But still, right? So they had their maiden flight last night. I saw a video a moment ago. It's got this audio. I've removed this, so it's got no audio, right? So, and that was them arrived in Nigeria. It was put up by the airpeace themselves. So for contract-wise, like for the contract part of it, the area that, you know, companies like airpeace, right, they are employing people in that place, right? So if they have more routes and they have more aircrafts, they will need more staff. And that is something, I mean, in my own book, it is. But here they were, when they arrived, I think this morning or this afternoon. These all of them. These all of them. The reason why I actually wanted to show you the video, right, is to let you see that earpiece alone, right, brought back over 100 people. That Tinubu that went to Brazil with the Tinubu, and that is just one single plane. They probably have more than 3-4 planes that took them to that Brazil. Now go take a look at their faces again. Ministers, governors, PAs, SAs, this, that, all of them collected their star code, just so you know. And for your information, man, our crazy thing day, for 3 days, a minister will collect $400. No. A governor will collect $1,200. A deputy governor will collect $1,000. What I'm not sure of is if it is per night or per trip. I'm not sure. Here you get. So let me call it per trip so that it doesn't sound too exaggerating, all right? Or exaggerative. So a minister will collect $800 as a star code. And a personal assistant to a minister will collect $400 as a star code. And this is like pocket money. So what I'm not sure of is if it is per night or if it's per trip. Their hotels, their flight, everything is paid for, just so you know. And I hear that there is another money that is undisclosed that they give to them if they want to do personal shopping and the rest. The star code is the one that will be officially released, that will appear. Sure you get now, will appear on their itinerary and whatever, that they gave them this money. So for every trip, I don't think it's $800 now. Per trip. It should be per night. Now take a look at the faces of everybody that went there with Tinubu. In 2.5 years, Tinubu, his wife, Shitiman, his wife, 4 of them, they have spent over 200 billion naira on foreign trip in 2.5 years. Right? For that poor country. Anyway, we'll leave them. Okay? Because even in Lagos, they saw rats. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, I'm not sure. There's an amateur video here that it was that of rats. And the citizens were seen counting a convoy. Somebody said 60, another one said 62, while others were just like, God damn it, man. Like, rats in Lagos.
She never passed me. She don't pass now. I know she don't pass now. Hey! Hey, no, Akuasha. Hey! Oh! That's it. That's it. That's it. Be this. That's it. Be that. That's it. The back. That's it. The back. That's it. The back. That's it. Be that. That's it. Be this. That's it. Be this.
That was a rat passing a street in Lagos. Talking about Lagos, no one knows what triggered and what do you call it, kind of a fight, street fight in the Lagos Island today. But we're seeing some of them so bloodied and all of that. And you know something about when this, the touts in Lagos, the street ones and all that, whenever they are fighting, police don't show up. They just let them do their thing, shoot and kill themselves. And when they are tired, they will disperse, right? This was somewhere in Lagos Island this morning. Anyway, thank you very much for your time on the program again tonight. I will see you another time, possibly tomorrow, noon, during the brunch time. Enjoy the rest of your evening and good night from here.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
òkúra olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì í o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.